What's up, everyone? It's me, Schmmo, and I'm back with another collab with all my friends. I got a bunch of different people that I've met over the years that they wanted to join in on this, and I thought it was a great idea. We're here to talk about our fondest video game moments, something that helped build us up as a person, someone that influenced us, or something that happened when we were younger, and, well, let's just talk about it. For me, it was something that was very near and dear to my heart. It dealt with my father, and when I was younger, we had a den. And when I lived back up in New Jersey, we had a den in the house. And there is where we played, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, all that stuff. But my earliest and fondest memory is sitting down and playing battle tanks with my father. And I recently reflected on that with everything going on and, him having a close call. And it really popped in my mind that was one of the best bonding times. From us just sitting down there, enjoying the music, to, just driving tanks and playing against each other. And I really think he was going easy on me because, I was his son. But it's just good memories and just good times all around. And it's one of those things that made me really appreciate video gaming, and it's helped me gotten to this behind me. It has helped me build who I am, to take time with the people you care about, sit down, relax, and enjoy life, and have fun. The big thing about battle tanks is it was an intro to me, because there were World War II tanks, I believe, in there, and I'm a big World War II nut. I have medals, I have books upon books, magazines, everything you could tell about this world war that changed the face of the earth. I mean, it was detrimental to people. I could keep going on about this, but the game itself introduced me to World War II aspects, along with the military aspects, and, from there I, sat there and learned about some of our family history, and me and my father just always talked, and it was a very nice bonding time overall with, just the game itself. But let's go see what the other people have to say.
Hi, my name is Esta, and I'll be talking about my earliest and fondest memories of a video game. So the game I want to talk about today is Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, that old GBA game that pretty much started my love for the Kirby franchise. Basically, obviously, I played that as a young child. I had my GBA color, and it was pretty much my first game that I played. I've loved Kirby ever since, and I will continue to love him. Fondest memory I have of that game is beating the final boss, which is, pretty self-explanatory. But as a kid who thought the Kirby games were hard back then, it was pretty good. Using the Star Rod and defeating Nightmare, and that felt liberating, I guess. Like, I finally beat this final boss. It would be the first of many final bosses I would beat. My earliest memory of actually playing that game is probably using one of my favorite abilities, which they have revived actually, is the needle ability. I don't know why I really liked it, but I did. And I remembered I would discard any useful abilities just to use needle, because I had liked it that much. No idea why, but that stuff happens. But yes, Nightmare was a great boss, and I would probably like to play Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland again.
My fondest memory that involves video games is a bit of a combo deal. It starts with my dad purchasing the PlayStation 2 and telling me I could play it whenever I'd like. This in turn got my godmother to buy me a game for it on Christmas. The game in question was Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and it was and still is one of my favorite games I've ever played. Back then you couldn't save the game without a memory card, and we didn't have one for most of my PlayStation 2 career. So it was a lot of me playing through the game, getting stuck at certain parts, then convincing my family to not turn off the console so I could wake up the next morning and continue from where I left off. Even with the restarts, it never felt stale to replay the levels, and I would even do so on my own from time to time, just to explore every inch of the level. Although I made it to the end multiple times, I was never able to beat the game. The last level of the game involves you going onto a mech powered by the bad guy, and all you have to do is open a gate and dodge enemies until the end of the game. However, no matter how many times I tried to get through the game, I was never able to. Still unsure to this day if my game was glitched or if there was a requirement I never did to get through it, but when I figured it out years later, I felt extremely dumb. I'd still do it again, though, just to relieve the memories and maybe actually beat the game and do my past self proud. But I'd highly recommend the series. I never did play the games after the first, but the storylines from them seem pretty interesting. And that's from, I believe, Tasmanian Tiger 2 all the way to 4. All great games.
Hey everybody, it's me, Gloria Canis. Oh, if you don't know who I am, I'm your residential coyote spirit. It's nice to meet you all. I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gloria Canis. I am on Twitter at Canis Gloria. I know, very, very original. Woohoo. I also do a little bit of YouTube videos here and there. Just type in my name, Gloria Canis. Maybe subscribe if you want to. If you like the content, that is. I'm doing this because my earliest memory, my fondest memory of video gaming is with my dad. It was a Christmas present. It was a PlayStation 1, and it was NASCAR. NASCAR and me and my dad playing for hours and hours and hours and hours. He'd say, all right, pick your favorite character. And I said, oh, Jeff Burton. So I was number 99 while he was number 24. Jeff Gordon, in case you guys don't know. Anyway, we would go round and round those tracks for hours. And when one of us was home and the other wasn't, we'd actually play, see if we can unlock the tracks. And my dad was actually a whole lot better than me. I wish I knew about YouTube then so we could actually see it. It would be so great. In fact, I got him into racing games so much that he bought one of those, steering wheel controllers with the pedals and stuff like that. This was before Logitech came out with them, like for Xbox or PlayStation. It was for the computer. He bought a CD game for his computer that he and a friend built, and I love my dad. I love my dad. I love the fact that we shared gaming together, whether it be just me talking about FPSs or him talking about how he beat Minesweeper and I still can't. Anyway, those are my very fond memories of gaming, and there was one game that took up a lot of my childhood, but that's how I got into gaming. I got into gaming because of my dad. So, yeah, my fondest memory. My very fondest memory.
Admittedly, I'm not sure what my first gaming experience was, to be exact, but I do recall one of the most impactful from my early childhood. I grew up with older siblings, and one of them was into video games since childhood, meaning I had access to a lot of consoles and PC games that would have probably been slightly before my time otherwise, like NES, SNES, Sega Genesis, and so on. And one of the fondest memories I have is Donkey Kong Country 2 for the Super Nintendo. I don't have strong attachments to the first or third games, but playing multiplayer DKC2 was a trip. It's to the point that I know the first couple of worlds for this game so well, I could probably more or less speedrun them, before completely falling off and falling hard, because I'm not very good at video games. That much still hasn't changed. One level in particular from Donkey Kong Country 2 has always stuck with me, even beyond those first couple of worlds. Because my sibling was able to actually beat the game with a fair amount of ease, I got to see the rest of it, and try most of the levels out on their save. And the one that has always stuck with me is Bramble Blast, because it's hard as f***. Like, holy this level was infuriatingly difficult as a child. It's probably the main reason I hate timing in video games so much, because the entire level is just shooting from one blast barrel to the next, completely surrounded by brambles that are a 2-hit KO. But there was something mystifying about Bramble Blast, and that was a little song called Sticker Brush Symphony. Seriously, this song, it just gives me goosebumps every time I hear it, even more than 2 decades after hearing it for the first time. It's this mystical, elevating piece that's so calming and spacey and just beautiful. And it's crammed into this hard as level. Honestly though, the entire soundtrack for all 3 Donkey Kong Country games for the Super Nintendo are great. This just happens to be the best song of the bunch in my opinion, and it solidified its accompanying level as one of my earliest gaming memories.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed everyone's memories, from PrincessDank to Gloria to Mspecter to Esta, and I think this was just a nice, good time to sit down and just talk and share our fondest memories. Let me know if you guys want to do something like this again. I really enjoy sitting down and listening to people talk about what they love doing and, everything they have to bring to the table. So, yeah, until next time, guys, I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.